So let's now meet anxiety. So we've got worry, stress, chronic stress, then we have anxiety. And this is much more internalized, and it may have a trigger, but it might not have an obvious causal trigger. And it is typically characterized by a persistent feeling of apprehension or dread. So unlike stress, anxiety persists and niggles. So some people feel anxiety or anxious from time to time, but it's when the feelings don't go away that we really need to start to deal with them. And they can seem to happen without a particular reason. I mean, there is always a reason. It just might not be in our conscious awareness. And it starts to make life really, really difficult to cope with. So becoming aware of our anxious feelings is something that is really important. So we've talked about stress. Stress is about a trigger. Anxiety is that longer term thing. So if you go to your handout, this journaling exercise is about noticing what has happened over, let's say, the last 1 to 2 weeks, and give yourself a score of 1 for every yes. So there's things like you have this heightened sense of fear of maybe what people think about you. So you don't do things, you stop, you procrastinate, you hide, you isolate, because you're thinking, well, I can't come out because people are thinking stuff about me. So, and that is like a constant thing. You're afraid of being in a place that has no exits. It's like, how am I going to get out of here? So that's a really uncomfortable feeling, is not knowing how you get out of somewhere. Always feeling angry and have this lack of patience. So you're in the car, in the supermarket, rushing down the road, and everyone is always in your way, and you're rush. That's anxiety. I've talked about binging on things like Netflix as a way of really just kind of not dealing with what's going on. So you just take yourself into another world. You might be feeling low and depressed, emotionally flat, numbed, burnt out, blunted. All your emotions feel wrong and jangly all the time. You wake up in the morning and nothing feels right. Everything is scary. Everything frightens you. You just feel fear about everything that is going on, or things feel unreal and dreamlike. You're just kind of watching the world thinking, I don't know who I am anymore and what I'm doing here. I mean, what am I doing on this planet? Feeling detached and emotionally numb, lacking empathy, and just worrying and catastrophizing about all kinds of things. So go through the list. If there's anything that you need to add into that list, add them in and give yourself a score. Now, if you've got more than about 4 of these things, that doesn't seem very many, I would suggest that you have some level of anxiety. But remember to separate it from the things that stress you in the moment, the triggers. It's the prolonged stuff that is really deeply internalized and just doesn't seem to go away. So when you've scored it, go to the journal and just ask that question, what have I learned about me and the anxiety? So we never ever own anything that comes up. It's not my anxiety, it's not my stress, it's the stress and the anxiety. Because what we're aiming to do is raise our awareness and take ourselves through a process where we don't feel the feelings of anxiety.